Welcome to the Wealth Defenders with Terry Cox, broadcasting out of Phoenix, going coast to coast, nationwide, global, and with nearly 20 years of financial experience, Terry can help you get your money right. Very, very important here. Consumer advocate Bruce Rosenblum here with you as well. Terry, it's so great to see you.
Yeah, my friend, how you doing?
I've been good. My tendonitis, it's clearing up, so I'm back running. And one of these days, I got to join you for one of these early morning workouts because I know you're still getting it during the wee hours of the morning.
Yes, sir. The alarm goes off at 4:05.
See, that's your time. Nobody can bug you during that time of the morning. You know you're going to have peace and you can do what you need to do during that time.
That's right. Right. Put the earbuds in and get the music rocking and knock it out.
That's it. I'm totally about that. And with that in mind, I mean, thinking about motivation, working out, changing some things. I mean, we're in the new year right now, so it's definitely time for some changes. And we want to talk about that today on the program, I believe here, specifically
Absolutely.
Peak, right? Yeah. Specifically Peak 65 here. That's what's being called here. We've got more baby boomers heading into retirement than ever before. Isn't that right?
That's right. I believe it's 11,000 a day heading into retirement these days. That's a lot.
It's a lot of people. And I know a lot of our viewers and listeners, they fall into that category. So with that in mind, if you fall into that category out there, we've got some great information just for you. And I want to hand this off to Terry here because we're talking about Peak 65. Terry, what should we know about this and where should people go with the information here?
Well, the first thing you need to do is if you're falling into that category and you're going to be retiring, and statistics show that a lot of boomers are underprepared heading for retirement.
Okay.
So that's a great place to start a conversation. You know, where are you at now? What does life in retirement, what do you want that to look like? And how can we make that happen for you?
Right.
Because it's different for everybody, you know, because some people like to have a second home. Some people like to travel, you know, whether it's, you know, flying around the world or they pick up an RV and they're driving coast to coast. It's different for everybody. But if you're approaching that age and you're getting ready to step into retirement, let's clear everything up right now before you actually get there.
And I was told this simple fact the other day. Two-thirds of baby boomers, they might struggle to maintain what they got right now, their current lifestyles in post-retirement. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe a little over half have $250,000 in assets or less. So there's some big disparities here.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that you need to think about if you're going to step into retirement, because, you know, sometimes it's easy to think, hey, I've got this pile of money, you know, I'm going to create a spending plan. Well, that pile of money that you have needs to create income for you and still keep that nest egg. Ooh. So, yeah, you know, picking up some, if you're going into retirement, let's say you're picking up some income-paying bonds, maybe some dividend-paying stocks, fixed income annuities are great. And then that way, you know, you've got income coming in and you still are maintaining the nest egg, because you can't spend that down too early, because that's going to impact that income that you've got coming off of those dollars.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned fixed income annuities, not variable though. Should boomers go for variable over fixed, or is fixed what they should be focusing on right now?
Well, you know, there's a difference between the two. The variables are still going to be tied to the stock market. Think of it as a portfolio of mutual funds with an insurance wrapper around it that the insurance company will pay you off of your balance.
Okay.
As opposed to a fixed income annuity, that could be a personal pension. You drop some dollars in, and right away you're going to know what your income stream is going to look like. And the kind of the flip side of the Fed raising rates over the last couple of years and kind of wreaking havoc on the stock market and the bond market.
Yes.
It's played well for fixed income or income producers like these annuities.
Okay.
And in a lot of cases, these insurance companies are paying bonuses up front.
Okay.
And then every year that you are able to defer your income, they're giving you a bump up on the anniversary date of the when you start the annuity.
Sure.
that we call your anniversary date. So that could, if you've kind of underperformed or your savings has been lacking a little bit over the years and you're looking to get a bump, some of those bonuses can help fill that gap.
I got you. See, this is what I'm curious about because, I mean, me, as you know, Terry, I'm in my late 30s. I've got plenty of time to get my financial house in order. But there are people out there in their 50s, even 60s, and they haven't really done what they needed to do to feel comfortable moving into this phase of their lives. So the question I've got for you, if somebody out there is over 50, is it too late to really kick things into high gear?
No, not necessarily. You know, a lot of that comes down to what your current income is. How much can you continue to put away between now and the date that you want to retire? But, you know, we're seeing people do things that they need to do when they get into retirement. Sometimes they live in a city that the cost of living is high. Maybe they move to a city that the cost of living is a little bit lower. Because you want to maintain your lifestyle. You know, you don't want to give up your health care or your dentist or to save a few bucks. So we're seeing people relocate and just doing what they have to do to make sure that they get the lifestyle that they want.
That's right. You don't want to go backwards in lifestyle because then you really realize, oh man, this is not good. God, you don't want to go backwards. It's tough. If you're driving if you're driving a nice car, you don't want to go back to that Toyota Camry, even though it will get you to 300,000 miles. I mean, fingers crossed, right?
That's right. Yeah. Especially if you live here in the valley where, you know, we don't get the snow and we don't get the salt and the rust and all that stuff. Yeah.
Indeed. God, I mean, give me like a day of snow, just a day so I can see it and it's pretty and it's nice. And then, you know, it can go away. I tell you, shoveling the snow, it's no fun. If you're out there and you got to shovel snow, hats off to you. It's no fun. We know. But talking about Social Security, I mean, this is also a big deal, a big piece of the puzzle. What can you tell us about Social Security?
So there's a lot of rumors circulating out there about what could happen to the Social Security Trust. You know, there's rumors that, you know, maybe in 10 years there's just a 25% cut across the board. But, you know, when you think about what's happening right now with the amount of people who are stepping into retirement and taking Social Security, you know, that's a consideration that you have to think about. And in a lot of cases, when we're having conversations with people stepping into retirement, sometimes, you know, saving and growth, that's not the conversation anymore. The conversation is, how am I going to maintain my income level and how am I going to maintain my lifestyle? Right. So there's a lot of things that come on the table, especially if you have a homeowner and maybe they have some equity in their home that they could access. There's many ways to do it, but it all comes down to having that conversation, figuring out the assets that you actually have and what we can do with them.
But the big question is it going to go away?
I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think cuts are probably definitely on the table, but I can't see it going away for good.
Okay.
You know?
It's comforting to hear that answer because, again, Terry, as you know, I'm late 30s, and I'm hoping it's going to be there around for me when I get to be the age that the baby boomers are right now. But I think, you know, it behooves people in that phase of their life, you know, don't rely on this stuff because it's not what you should be banking on. Is that
That's
right?
Yeah, especially if someone like you who are in their late 30s, if you've got time to figure out your plan and put it together, and if you can put that plan together without relying on Social Security, that, you know, if you get it when you step into retirement, you know, that's just kind of icing on the cake. But I mean, we've got one go around on this, and you know, the obviously the earlier you start, the better off you are. But you know, to your point earlier, if you're over 50, it's not too late. There's still some things that can be done. It just, like I said, it comes down to having that conversation. Where are you now? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have when you get into retirement?
This is good to know. Okay, so it's not too late to turn the ship around if you're having problems, especially in 2025, this new year, new opportunities, but also some new economic challenges because we've got somebody new coming into the White House and the country's in a certain state right now. So with that in mind, Terry, what can you tell us about some challenges that people might face out there right now?
Well, the one thing you need to focus on is your personal economy. We hear people talk about the economy but there's only one that matters, and that's yours and it's mine. And that's, if you're going to have some challenges, with your economy, let's figure out what it is. If you're stepping into retirement, how much debt are you carrying? Is your house paid for?
Okay.
What kind of, are you going to be carrying any pensions? I know pensions have kind of, gone along the wayside over the years, but some people still have them.
Sure.
It all comes down to having that conversation about your specific idea of retirement and how you want that to look.
Okay. And with that in mind, it leads me to my next big question. How do we create that sustainable income in retirement that lasts a lifetime?
Well, the quick, easy answer is with a fixed income annuity, because those will pay you until the day you leave the planet.
Okay.
So, depending on how much income you need, kind of dictates how much money we put into an annuity contract in the first place to generate the cash that you want to need, that you're going to need. But like I said earlier, a lot of these insurance companies are now paying bonuses on money coming into new contracts. So that could help bridge a gap, because that number's pretty big. In some cases, it's up to 30%.
30%. That's a big number right there.
That's a big number for sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What about this peak 65 phenomenon that I've been hearing about? What is that?
That's just the number of baby boomers that are stepping into retirement. One day there's going to be an amazing transfer of wealth from the baby boomers to the next generation. So with these boomers that are stepping in right now into retirement, maintaining income, maintaining lifestyle is going to be something that's very important for them. And to your point earlier, some are underprepared. And if you're underprepared, let's have a conversation, because sometimes you may have to, I've seen people push retirement back a year or two, or, do something drastic like sell their home, take the equity to buy, downsize. It's something that's a little more affordable. So it all comes down to the boomers' needs and their personal economy.
And what are some of those needs? On average,
the big one is income.
Okay.
Because sometimes you might be stepping into retirement with a lower income that you had while you were working. So if that's the case, if you were making, whatever, $100,000, and now you're going to be making 60 or 70,000 in retirement, that's a big gap. So then you can just see where that dominoes, from the day-to-day living, the cable bill, the credit card bill, the house payment, the car payment. So very big deal.
Gotcha. And I know we've talked in the past about best cities for aging and retirement, but Terry, it seems like these days, no matter where you go, you're going to need a lot of money, because that's just the way things are.
Things are very expensive these days, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, like, is $1 million enough to cut it?
Again, it comes down to your lifestyle. What do you actually need? And, downsizing or moving to another state or another city that's a little more affordable, that's becoming more and more commonplace these days.
Gotcha, and it definitely is. Well, I know we're winding down here for this episode. Is there anything you can tell our baby boomer audience out there? What do they need to know as we wrap up today?
If you have any uncertainties about stepping into retirement, give us a call. Every week we set aside some appointments for the listeners and the viewers if they want to either have a phone conversation, they want to come into the office. But let's get a plan together now. Let's talk about where you're at. If you're underprepared, what can we do to help bridge that gap? And I'm sure there's something out there. There's a solution out there that we can find for you.
That's it. Time to take control. Take control of your money. Take control of your life. Take control of your financial future. Got to give Terry a call. We've got information on the screen so you can do just that for your no-cost, no-obligation financial review. And also, make sure you subscribe to the Wealth Defenders podcasts. This is where you want to go to get your financial advice, because Terry, he's got the information, he's got the experience, and he's got the will to make sure that you are squared away. So square your money away, square everything away. Be with the Wealth Defenders. We got you. Great show, Terry. We will see you on the next one.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Always a pleasure talking with you, and we'll catch up soon.
Sounds great. See you soon.
All right. See you guys.